Let's address paranoia. And firstly, paranoia that you might feel towards your guide or guides. Really the most important thing to say, like with any paranoia, is to share it, voice it, express it. And that way you have the best chance of nipping it in the bud, addressing it early on, getting it shared and then dissipated. If in sharing your paranoia and your guide tries to reassure you but you don't accept it, you don't believe it, then the guide's attention and main consideration might shift to safe containment of the journeyer. And that might just mean, ensuring that they stay where they are, lying on the bed, for example, and not create any situation where they're putting their self, their body, or the guide's bodies in any physical danger. Sometimes really challenging experiences where there may be some paranoia, perhaps intense paranoia, just require you sitting out the experience. It becomes a situation where you can't easily intervene, you can't easily mollify or reduce the paranoia that's expressed itself, but you do know that the drug effects will wear off over time and you just need to provide a safe situation and wait for those effects to wear off. Some things that people can sometimes become paranoid about during a psychedelic experience include a fear that something's gone wrong, perhaps their sanity is even in jeopardy, they might be losing their mind, they might fear that this is a permanent change, that they're going to become psychotic forever. It's quite common that people fear this, but just do know that you can trust the process. Like a storm, all storms pass, and this will pass. We know that about psychedelics. It's easy to feel that the experience is too intense. It's so strange, it must be wrong, something's going wrong. It's hard to remember this when you're in the thick of a journey, but just know that this is normal. If it is your first experience and it is just beyond what you could have fathomed in terms of weirdness and strangeness, just know that this is normal. This happens. It's wildly abnormal, but it's kind of normal. This is psychedelics. So if you can trust the process, trust all of that chaos and the madness, that's the best way to navigate through an intense psychedelic journey. Also know that in the context of a kind of psychological storm, a kind of intense chaos, it's okay to be confused. You don't need to work stuff out. You don't have to think psychedelic in this context means clear insight, revelation all the time. Sometimes it's just jumbled up weirdness. So don't go kind of striving and searching for that clear clarity or that distinct emotional breakthrough. Whatever's happening is right, and it's okay if you're just fully confused. You might worry that your body's in danger, that you're actually in physical danger, that you might be dying even. Again, know that what we know about psychedelics is that in terms of their bodily effects, at the right dose and with the right purity and no mixing of drugs, your body should be safe and you can trust that. Psychedelics in and of themselves are relatively safe compounds. So if you know the purity of the compound, you know the dosage, then you can feel pretty assured that your body is going to be safe. So if you can remember that, it's difficult, you can reassure yourself that even though you might fear it, you're not going insane, you're not losing your mind, you're not going mad, you're not dying. It might certainly feel like you are, but you're not. Your body's safe, heart and lungs are functioning normally as they should do. We know that, we monitor these things when we do our research. Another thing you can become paranoid about is the drug itself. Maybe you think it was contaminated or you took too high a dose. Now this is really why setting those foundations during the preparation is so important. And if you express any concerns about the drug itself, the purity or the dose, you can know with a trusting guide who's done things properly that they can reassure you and you can let go of that particular fear, that particular paranoia, and return to the process and trust that process. Again, that classic principle of, in a context of fear, if you can return to the trusty breath and hear that breath, make it audible, inhale deeply and then release and feel that release in the body, it's a really good way to ground yourself and just regain the process and the flow of the experience.